Hey Sagittarius, this is Michael with your December 2022 reading. I hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. I am so excited to get into your reading because we are in your season in December. We are at the end of the year, so we are just in very exciting times. And to celebrate the holidays as well, I'm also offering a sale on my website. If you use the code Good Tidings, all one word, at checkout on my website, both in my schedule and in my online store, I have different options available to all of you. You can get 20% off any of my services. So if you're looking for reading or distance Reiki session and just want to start the new year off right, that is a great way to make sure you're starting 2023 on the right foot. And I'm going to be honest with you, Sagittarius, I've had a hard time really breaking into your video. I've tried recording it several times already, and I've just felt frustrated. It feels like I just can't get my words across. I'm actually a Sagittarius moon myself, so maybe I'm picking up on some of this collective energy for us. And I suspect a lot of this has to do with the fact that we have Mars in your opposite sign in Gemini. And this is going to be retrograding in the sign of Gemini all through December. We've actually been in this energy for quite some time, since the end of October. And so there may feel like there's a lot of pressure or opposition directed at you, especially through other people. But what this is actually helping you do, Sagittarius, because there is a silver lining here, there is a blessing, this is truly helping you come into your own. It's helping you come into yourself. And I do also feel like on kind of a deeper level for some of you, connecting with the energy, it's like, how do you share yourself with the people you care about most? Or who are you supposed to share yourself with? Those could potentially be coming up as themes for you this month as well. Maybe that's been coming up in last month in November. Just kind of that more reflective quality, even though we are in your season and there's this real push to achieve and do, and it's just such a busy time of year. I feel like, Sagittarius, you're kind of going in your own flow. And that's actually really interesting that we have fish that came out for you from the animal spirit deck. I feel like a lot of you need to figure out how to move with the flow without like being completely passive. And when I think of the fish, it's not just like being carried by the tides. It's not just being completely passive or receptive, but it is about swimming with the current. I feel like a lot of you have felt like life has been an upstream current, or you've been trying to do something that's just been very, very challenging. And maybe you need to go about your life in a different way, or go about a task or a project in a different way. And that's what I'm really getting with the fish here. And it's almost like by going with the path of least resistance here, it's like you are figuring out how you can maximize your energy this month, which is kind of interesting. And honestly, not exactly what I would have expected for your season, but it does make sense with a lot of other stuff going on. We do also have your ruling planet Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. And because of the way that Pisces and Sagittarius interact, they square with each other, there is potentially a little tension there as well, too. So it could be coming from family in particular. I'm really just getting a lot of your relationships feel like they're challenging, or maybe you're questioning things, or just seeing things in a different way. Although I feel like it's really healing for you to connect to family or home or your ancestry in some way. And maybe you're even cleansing your space, clearing your home out, maybe smoke cleansing or doing some sort of cleansing practice with the vulture here. And I gotta be honest, I love this card. I love vultures. They are beautiful, beautiful animals. I have nothing against them, Sagittarius. But I don't like to see this in your reading for some reason. I felt like this wasn't something I wanted to see. And when I think of the vulture, I am thinking of this kind of energy circling overhead. Maybe there is someone who is vampirically connecting to your energy this month, and you are needing to have boundaries, and you're trying to go in your own flow, and this person, it might be trying to redirect you in a way that just doesn't feel in alignment for you. So maybe there's some sort of pressure or tension. There could be some endings. This doesn't have to be with relationships, but it's like with the vulture, it's almost like you're gaining the nourishment. You're seeing the silver lining in something. And I feel like that's actually a huge, important message for you this month, Sagittarius. It's see the silver linings or pay attention to the silver linings. Because vultures will find life in something that is gruesome or just dead and find nourishment and ultimately keep the ecosystem, keep the world healthy, keep your space healthy, and kind of maintaining energy by getting rid of the old or making use of what has been discarded. So very, very interesting. And what's actually quite beautiful here is that we go from the vulture into the phoenix. And this is absolutely a card I think of for you, Sagittarius, because you are the phoenix. You are the rebirth after the death of Scorpio season. And I feel like by the end of this month, there is this beautiful rebirth or rebound that you are experiencing. And when we see the phoenix, it's like being transformed. And I feel like a lot of you are also letting go of old habits. You're realizing what habits aren't working for you. And I do also get the sense that a lot of you are working on your health and your wellness, especially being in your season. It's very focused on your physical body and your physical appearance. You're doing things that just make you feel good about yourself. So that's something that feels really, really important to me as well. I do want to start pulling some tarot cards for you, but I understand, if it feels like the energy is just very frustrating right now, figure out how you can find the path of least resistance, how you can let go of what is unnecessary so you can be reborn, so you can transform here. What do we have for Sagittarius? And I mean, starting off this month too, I'm not going to lie, December does start off on a bit of a rocky note for you. It does get better. December will get better, I promise. But we have Venus in Sagittarius in your sign, opposite Mars and Gemini, right on the 1st on Thursday. We do also have Venus in your sign, forming a sextile with Saturn in Aquarius, as well as Mercury squaring Pisces, Mercury being in your sign, Neptune in Pisces. Sorry, I feel like I just rambled there. There is this energy here where you are coming into a lot of spiritual strength, and there might be some sort of confusion or disillusionment that is happening with Mercury in your sign, forming a square with Neptune in Pisces. And we see this with the Hierophant and the Strength card. I feel like a lot of you are going through a major perspective shift. And maybe that's also like why it feels like you're feeling misunderstood. And even as I'm trying to talk to you, I feel like I'm just circling around words and circling around these concepts. So please forgive me. Thank you for your patience with me. I really, really do appreciate it. But the energy does feel like, if I could just be so bold, it's like you are doing something that is self-loving that is making somebody else angry. And you are listening to your intuition, you are listening to your guidance, and your inner guidance system specifically. And I feel like there's something creative here or something that is making you feel aligned with your purpose that you're touching into at the beginning of this month. But there is this feeling of being stuck with the Eight of Swords. And again, that doesn't surprise me. It feels like a frustrating energy for a lot of you. And you're having this really big... it's almost like your own beliefs are being resolved or strengthened. Your own resolve is being strengthened with the Hierophant and the Strength card. And we have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I feel like someone is just not happy with you. This could be multiple people. And it's interesting because honestly, Sagittarius, as I'm picking up on this energy, it doesn't even feel like someone is saying something to you. It's almost the way they look at you. It's almost what they don't say that feels like the attack. That feels like someone has it out for you or someone is testing you. And they might even be, it almost feels a little bit like gaslighting in some way, or just doing something in a very kind of covert way. And this actually could be a partner, interestingly enough, with the Two of Cups, or someone who you care a great deal about. And that's hard. That's really, really frustrating. And I just want to say, like, with Mars in your opposite sign, it is bringing up a lot of conflict and tension between you and other people in a very personal way. Um, and I think you're going to feel this very strongly on the 1st. You're also going to feel this very strongly potentially on the 8th when we have the Sun in your sign, also forming an opposition with Mars in Gemini. And that's the day after the full moon in Gemini. There could be this, like, kind of make or break moment in a relationship for a lot of you. Some of you could be walking away or leaving relationships behind. And even though this could very well be romantic for some of you, I'm not saying that it is for all of you. This could be a friend, a family member potentially as well. There's a lot of activation with your family and your home this month. Especially if you have a Libra, Leo, or Taurus that you're connecting with. We could also be talking about Gemini or Aquarius energy as well. But to be honest, I really don't feel like it's even an ending. And that's really interesting because I feel like maybe you're kind of in a relationship or situation where it's like, oh my God, this has to end. Like, it cannot go on this way. Something has to be different. And it's like there's just a lot of tension. There's a lot of heat. My ears are ringing so loudly as I'm talking about all of this. And with the Five of Swords, it's almost like picking and choosing your battles. And it's almost like if you're trying to get someone to see your point of view because you are afraid of that difference or disagreement, it's almost like you're coming in with the wrong energy. And that's kind of that fish energy we talked about before. It's like not swimming upstream. So I don't know if this is really talking about the end of a relationship for you, especially since we did have that Phoenix card here. But I do feel like you need to walk away. You need to take some time and space for yourself, at least at the start of this month. And like that's kind of the trap, I think, for you, Sagittarius. It's like we're in your season. It's supposed to be all about you and focused on yourself. And yet there's all of this focus on other people. And it's like you might be trying to change other people, or other people may be trying to change you. And instead of kind of being in that role, whether you're on the giving or receiving end of that, it's like you come back into control when you focus on what you need to do. And taking care of your own needs, whether those are emotional or physical or whatever. I feel like you just need to take time for yourself. Three of Swords. It's really interesting because I know a lot of people talk about this card as being like the breakup card. And I actually want to stick with my guns here. With the Eight of Swords in particular, it's like what makes this conflict and tension so painful, it's like leaving isn't an option. And I don't even mean that in a way where it's like you're trapped. Maybe you do feel trapped, but it's almost like there is this energy in your relationships right now where it's like you can't run away from this conflict forever. You can't run away from this tension forever. And it's like being present with the discomfort. And we have the Magician. I really feel like this is you claiming your own energy, especially towards the end of the month. And when we have Jupiter entering into the sign of Aries on the 20th, Jupiter is your ruling planet. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to really create something that you love. Manifest things. Manifest passion. And we did have Jupiter in the sign of Aries for a little while, kind of at the beginning of the summer, late spring, beginning of summer, earlier this year. So there could be something that is returning from that time, a feeling or a theme. Maybe something you manifested from that time is coming ahead as well. What is the Magician doing here? The Son of Swords. So this is Gemini energy. Mercury is represented as the Magician, and Mercury rules over Gemini as well as Virgo. And it's almost like you are wielding this energy. You are wielding this strife in a way where you are building yourself up. We do have the Moon here as well. Emotions are just really, really heightened this month. And like, it's almost like if you might feel like you're kind of up and down. And that's just how this sort of energy has felt. And even looking at the Three of Swords here, it's like there's a lot of things that are just tangled up. The energy was very frustrating to get into, I'm not going to lie. And it's almost like your emotions right now are not necessarily an accurate view of reality. And whenever the Moon comes up, it's like learning to discern your intuition from fear, or intuition from your emotions, especially your repressed emotions. And this is all making sense too, because we do have Neptune in the sign of Pisces that's also being activated in not necessarily a very comfortable way. We do have Jupiter, again, your ruling planet, in Pisces until the 20th, before it enters into Aries. And the Moon is Pisces energy. So there could be a lot with your inner child or home or ancestors that's coming up. And when we enter Capricorn season, I feel like there is a lot of focus on manifesting abundance for yourself. Especially with the new moon in Capricorn on the 23rd. And in a lot of ways, that new moon in Capricorn really is like New Year's resolutions to me, because Capricorn is Saturn energy. It's about discipline. It's about focus. What am I going to be building over the next 6 months into next year? What do I want to manifest? What do I need to get in order to manifest and move forward here? But again, some of you are experiencing a manifestation, especially around the 20th when Jupiter enters in the sign of Aries, and it is something that is bringing a lot of energy and a lot of passion. But it still feels like there is this frustrated energy with the moon, and we do have Mercury going retrograde right at the end of this month, starting the new year off with that. And when Mercury goes retrograde, especially in the sign of Capricorn, it really is like focused on money and resources, and you might be thinking about these things and getting things in order. And with Mercury kind of slowing down, because even when Mercury goes retrograde, it's already been in that pre-shadow period. That's when Mercury appears like it's slowing down before it starts moving backwards in the sky. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these retrogrades, retrogrades are basically just like an optical illusion where it looks like a planet is moving backwards, and the influence of that planet becomes more internalized. Mars is retrograde as well, so there's this kind of internal pressure that is happening, and I feel the frustration for you this month, Sagittarius. I'm not going to lie. And you might be needing to end some things or walk away from some things. What I'm actually getting here is I think I'm finally getting the message. It's like you are kind of leaving something in a way where it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of closure. And because of this, it's like there's still the possibility that something isn't over. Whether this is a relationship, whether this is something involving family, whether this is whatever this is. But it does feel more relational to me. You're kind of walking away from something, and it's almost like I feel like you're just telling yourself, like, this has to be over for now. I don't know how I'm going to make this work. I don't know what's going to happen here. And it truly is unclear, especially since this is a general reading. But it feels like this relationship is like on a timeout. It's also interesting too, because we do have the third and final Pluto return of the United States. Pluto is going back to the position it was in when the United States was formed, and this is the third time this has happened this year, and it's been affecting the world in a very financial way, because Pluto is in the second house, or the house of resources and money. We were talking about that. The United States is actually a Sagittarius rising, and so being in this Pluto return, there's just a lot of focus on money. And like there could be something happening at the end of the year that has kind of large financial implications going into 2023. And it's just making people feel kind of unstable. And I feel like you need to get on your own 2 feet, Sagittarius. You are manifesting something. You are moving in a direction. You are trusting in your intuition and your process at this point. So I do feel hopeful for you in that respect. But when it comes to this person, I feel like there's a person, or there are people in your life that are really just holding your energy back. And I gotta be honest, it feels like you need to take that space, you need to take that time, and it doesn't even feel like there's a lot of closure. I do want to pull a color healing card for you before we wrap up here. I apologize that this wasn't just the most cheerful reading, but we keep it real here on my channel. I don't like to give those fake messages. And I'm going to give you a healing card because these are really good at kind of figuring out what we should be doing with the energy. And I will be reading this as kind of a guided practice. But you're welcome to use these readings in any way that feels good to you or any way that your intuition feels called to use them. So what is the healing color for Sagittarius? Show us clearly, please. So we have cyan. Build your confidence. Also talking about the throat chakra, your truth. It really is like you're coming into yourself, Sagittarius, and it's almost manifesting through like letting go of people and almost like spiting people, like screw this person, I'm gonna show them sort of thing. I kind of do get that, which is sort of funny. And honestly, been there, done that. So anyways, we have cyan. Cyan strengthens your confidence and belief in yourself, balancing the systems of your body and giving you clarity in times when you need to make choices. It also helps you release stress to attain peace and relaxation, and can be very helpful in fine-tuning your communication abilities. Build your confidence with the help of a cyan circle. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in. As you breathe out, allow yourself to completely let go of all the stress and tension in your body. Take in another slow breath and visualize a deep cyan color filling your body. Then, as you breathe out, relax. Imagine a big cyan circle in front of you, focusing on the different qualities that make a person feel confident. They might be things like knowing what you are doing, feeling good about yourself, feeling happy, getting what you want, and so on. Place all of these qualities into the cyan circle, and then visualize yourself stepping into the circle. Breathe in all of those qualities, allowing yourself to become more confident and empowered. When you feel completely confident, clap your hands 3 times and say, I now embrace my confidence, happiness, and clarity, and walk out from the circle. From now on, every time you need an extra boost, clap your hands together 3 times and breathe in confidence from your cyan circle. And I actually really liked that this came up because it did feel like, again, communication was just something that was really hard. Mercury is going retrograde at the end of this month, so it might feel like it's just impossible to get your point across, especially with Mars opposing you too. So hopefully this color is helpful. Definitely let me know if this is useful to you, this color. I love to hear about the creative ways you use them. Let me know in the comments. Again, all of my links are in the description box down below if you're looking for a reading or distance Reiki session from me. We do have the sale going on through the solstice, so if you want to get a reading or a healing session, now is a great time to do that. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius.